If you have struggled with sleep with your little ones, you are definitely not alone. I think it is the most common thing we hear in our office that parents complain about their children's sleep and their sleep habits, whether it is their children have a really hard time winding down to sleep or they have a hard time staying asleep. Maybe they toss and turn all night. Maybe they are mouth breathers. Maybe they wake up and come into mom and dad's room at 2 a.m. There's just many varieties of the sleep issues that our kids can have and can cause issues within our family. As an adult, I know what happens if I don't get enough good quality sleep. I know how my mood is affected, my emotions are affected, my immune system is affected. And so for children, that is even more exponential. It is so much more important for kids to have really good quality sleep, and it is crucial for their immune system, their digestive system. So many things in their body really rely on getting good quality sleep. And so if our kiddos are really struggling to fall asleep or to stay asleep or get good quality sleep, they're going to have a much harder time regulating their emotions, doing things like processing new experiences, and even focusing during the day. And so as a parent myself, I know it's hard to address those bigger concerns and challenges. And when you see your kiddos having struggles with things like sensory sensitivities or behavior or speech, it seems like you're trying all these things, but we don't often realize that sleep is really the foundation for all of it. And so why are our kids having issues with sleep? Well, normally there is a really easy solution, and that's the nervous system. That's a really good explanation, because your nervous system needs to be really on par to have good quality sleep. And so our nervous system is either living in a sympathetic state, which is our fight or flight, or a resting state, which is our resting, digesting, healing, and growing. And so when our body is trying to fall asleep, we obviously need to be able to switch on that parasympathetic mode and our body be able to calmly rest and wind down for the night and, let us go into a nice deep sleep where our body can really recharge. But if you've ever tried to fall asleep and you feel like your brain is just turning and you're thinking of all these things, and then you're laying there trying to be so still and you feel an itch on your kneecap or an itch on your eyelid, that's your body trying to wake you up. That is your sympathetic system saying like, nope, let's just keep going. You have to keep moving. We have to keep going. And that is that sympathetic fight or flight system that is super primitive. It's your body's way of keeping you alive. And so if it thinks that you're in danger or that you need to be able to run from that perceived danger, it is going to keep you on high alert, scanning, making sure that everything around you is safe, making sure that you are able to get up and run at the drop of a pin, and that everything can be fast and we can move and keep ourselves alive. And so it's a really hard balance between your body thinking that it's doing what's good for you, but also your body knowing that you're in a safe environment, it is time to go to sleep, and your body can turn down the noise in itself, and so that it can do things like resting. And so if you're a parent, you've probably been like, I've tried everything. I've done the white noise, I've done melatonin, I've done magnesium, I've done warm baths before bed, I have a really strict bedtime routine. We do 3 books, and then we kiss them 5 times, and we have this super strict routine. But oftentimes it's not the routine that's the issue. It's the child's ability to be in a calm state. And so yes, things like a bath could help a child calm down. Magnesium can help that parasympathetic system turn on, but that really isn't the root of it all. The root is that our children's bodies are just stuck in this state of fight or flight, and they're really perceiving there to be danger around them. So part of that comes with how much of our lifestyle is really affecting our overall wellness and well-being. And so as an adult, you probably wake up to an alarm clock, and then we're rushing to get out the door. We're sitting in traffic. Everything seems like it's stressful, And so for kids, some parents like, what do they have stress? They don't pay the bills. Kids perceive all of our adult stress. They perceive everything that we perceive as stress. They also are going to pick up on. And then they also have stress. Us as parents rushing our kids to get ready in the morning is very stressful for them. Us parents trying to micromanage how they're putting on their shoes or what they're wearing or all of these things is a stressor. They have stress at school. They have pressures from their teachers, their friends, social pressures. And then it even goes back to birth trauma. Some of us are just hardwired from birth to be in a more sympathetic state because of the trauma that we experienced at birth. And so all of our kids now are experiencing so much stress, and then they get stuck in that fight or flight state where that's just how their body lives. And so their body's not doing the things like resting and digesting and healing and growing as well as it could be, because their body is really prioritizing just keeping them alive, making sure they can run from danger, making sure that they are always on edge. And you can see those kids, they're just almost wound up where they they're quick and everything's like high intensity. And so a lot of that is because their body perceives them to be in danger. And so this is where chiropractic care comes in, because the easiest way to switch your children from that sympathetic fight or flight mode into a resting mode is to signal the brain with all these feel-good hormones, all of this CSF flowing, and that is going to happen when you get adjusted. And so at our office, Pinnacle Chiropractic, we really focus on kids. Our office is 75% pediatric, and the one thing we hear from every parent, regardless if they're coming to our office for something like colic or something like behavior issues or sensory issues or speech, any of those things, the first thing we're going to hear from every parent is that their children sleep better. Because once the body knows that it's safe and it has all of these signals to the brain to tell the brain to calm down, to calm down, to calm down, it finally starts to listen, and then the body is able to rest. And once the body is resting, then children can see so many more wins and big growth in areas like behavior or like emotional regulation, because their body is able to have that foundational point of being well rested and recharging, and the sleep just really helping their brain and body function. So if you are looking for sleep help for your kids, or even you know that there's something bigger beyond your child's focus issues or behavioral issues, our office would be a really great place to start. If you feel like you've tried everything to get your kids to go to sleep and nothing has worked, our office, again, really, we see this on a day-to-day basis, day in, day out, with so many children where sleep is a struggle and parents don't even realize it half the time. But we always hear just such success stories from parents when their children start sleeping better and their body is able to wind down and they can really just become the best versions of themselves. So if this sounds like you, give our office a call and we are happy to help.